Xmas. Forget where I got that shirt from. You can hear the screams of cultural appropriation. So, just gonna give it a few minutes here. I assume I'll have my usual 000 triple zeros through the dashboard. So I find this mentally healthy. What year is it? What day? Kevin. Hey buddy, how are you doing? Sorry it took so long to write you. We were in Illinois for a couple weeks. Nick's been working like crazy. He's getting ready to leave for Iraq. They're changing shit around on him. Sorry, I should bleep that. Though he doesn't know if he's going to Iraq or if he's going to Japan with the surgical unit. Who the knows? These people don't know what they're doing. Anyway, whether you want to hear or not, the kids are super cute. Ariana's fat, and all Allison says is crap and dude. Oh, I should bleep that. My sister asked about you. I told her to email you or write you a letter, but she's so nuts right now. Her ex is a psycho. She's working two jobs and on and on. Anywho, here's her address in case you want to write her. I'll keep that email ad. Well, Kev, I hope you had a Merry Xmas. We're thinking about you. Be safe, okay? Love, Robin and Nick. See you soon. Years. This has to be around 2004. That's when I was. That's when I was deployed. Oh, did this come at the same? Merry Christmas from Pack 3715, 2004. Oh, maybe this was in a care package. You know, there's the USO and churches. They would send a lot of stuff. Oh, I guess a lot of guys would be like, this would be updates on their kids. Oh, so many kids with daddies deployed. Some mummies too. So, well, war is hell. You're cursed if you put a uniform on, apparently. That's why I don't watch the television anymore. For about 20 years, it was hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. Cheering and cheering. And then all of a sudden, I guess we're just too expensive. So, I just said people are like, call me idiot. My bank account got leaked. It's not billions. You might what people need to I remember there was Google search on celebrities, how much they're worth, and you see like $4.4 million. Celebrities worth 4 point. Man, with Elon, with the $600 billion. Oh, what was his last thing? Like he's gonna be first trillionaire. Oh, that friggin' that wealth level. You want to get to that 60 trillion. So, I've been watching. Okay, so we watch streamers because they're cute. You know, there's this like years ago when was it during lockdown or I think it was during lockdown. There's this channel called Atheism is Unstoppable, and they would be doing like a lot of it was reviewing stuff in the media. Uh, and there were retellings. They were making like Netflix had one. Well, anyway, retelling events or showing people what really happened. And so you pick apart these docudrama things and say they were lying, changing history, or subverting facts, or just giving alternative facts. You know, what would they call? Well, there's another thing where they cast actors to play real people who just have real jobs, just normal people, and then the actors on them on the screen and how they're portrayed. So that's one of the big things that we have. Oh, where's the Andy Swafford book, Jarhead? That was one of the. I remember there was big awards and stuff being real life, how Iraq really is, or deployment versus. I didn't watch it. It seemed like a lot of just Well, there's Zero Dark 30. That's also made about was that the one about the retelling of the yeah, Hollywood gets so much secret information, like top secret information. And again, it's the government's prerogative to fund their own PR because all over the world, there's other people out there just talking about how bad Americans are. So as we've watched the Lowell Angels, somebody who apparently I don't know, there's a lot in between I've missed. So it's actually inspiring in the Bible study. Read a little Bible every day. So I go to a little church around the corner. It's kept me sane. Well, it's having a connection with people. A lot of people who wander into this particular one are startup churches. I was poo pooing startup churches for a while, and still to find people who are starting. So my pastor said was talking about just biblical study and how to study it, or how to try to study it, or how he learned to study it. And apparently, in the archives, the book of Job was written before the book of Genesis. It's kind of like Star Wars Episode 4 New Hope was released before. I don't know what that first one is. I don't know. They have so many different names, not 9 different titles for these. Anyway, a few decade, 2 decades after the original, they released a prequel so you could see what happened. See, how did you get to the book of Job? How did you get to this man with so much wealth and 1,000 oxens and sheep and donkeys? And, I haven't memorized it. He seemed pretty wealthy. And then Sheba, I guess, scaled the walls or something. Sabians. Try and figure out how to pronounce these old groups. So I have different Bibles and the spellings are different, and phonetically they usually come out the very similar. It's just the hooked on Phoenicians. Interesting, interesting peoples of an archaeology and history. So right now, this is the critique with kids in the Bible, or people in the Bible in general. It's boring. A lot of it's just talking about who begot who. It gets confusing too in a monogamous society like this. I just had to put it down last night because it's this battle over Jacob's seed. Now Jacob is Isaac's son, who is Abraham's son, or no, is Isaac Noah's son? Who's it? I really need to try. I started out to sit down and have a notebook that I purchased, and I was gonna chart all these things. So right now we have poor. He has 2 wives. Rachel, who he's very fond for, and then another one, Leah. And I suppose that his feelings changed or something, but Leia's unloved. It really does connect with other things that aren't biblical, like my own family tree. I come from my mom's side of the family comes from Utah. Her family is part of the well. They came out with Brigham Young from Missouri, so they're well established, even if they're not like in good standing with the Latter Day Saints anymore. Well, they practice polygamy, and in this man-ruled world, in the patriarchy, for a woman's son to inherit the father's fortune, farm, to be the patriarch. Apparently, that's where a lot of competition comes in. So Rachel was barren. She couldn't have babies. Like the Lord closed up her womb, and or maybe she could. It's not that she couldn't have babies; she just wasn't. And so Leah had a baby, even though she was unloved. And then Rachel wanted a baby, so she gave like her husband her maid, to pregnant my maid, like some Handmaid's Tale. So Rachel gets a baby by her maid. Leah has some babies. Leah gives her maid to Jacob to have some babies. Rachel miraculously has a baby. So far where we've left off with Jacob is he's had babies with four women. Now, the way Jacob became the patriarch is interesting because in the online world, I used to watch a lot of this No More News with Adam Green, and he's all about like just criticizing rabbis and things, or just documenting the things they teach. Very interesting. So the big controversy, from what I understand, I haven't read this in the Bible yet. And I have to go back and review because in the story that he said, Jacob and Esau are twins. I need to look at that over again. See, Esau they call the hairy and Jacob smooth. There are other things. Well, you can do a lot of projection. Who doesn't everybody want to be Jesus? Everybody wants to be Jesus. Everybody loves Jesus in the Christian world. I haven't gotten to that part yet. That's usually the stuff we talk about. Now we just don't talk about it anymore, or politics or religion. So the dynamics of having four women who all have sons, and only one can receive the Father's blessing. I think Esau is now a servant to Jacob or something. Although he's like murderous. It's the storyline. Another thing that strikes me from reading this, because, well, is hiding out. I dated a pretty girl. A pretty girl once liked me. And boy, oh boy, men's jealousy. I say jealousy is not typically part of the seven deadly sins. Where the seven deadly sins come from? You should see the size of this book, and then like the page I'm on, and then I have to make notes because I don't have that kind of memory. It retains everything. I was kind of surprised at the other genealogy. When so because apparently what we call the Jews are from one branch of the family tree. The Canaanites are distant cousins, depending on how the thing goes, and they're well known for being genocided. I guess just because you have like some connection or cousins doesn't mean you get along, especially when we have what 10 billion people. I don't even know about these projections anymore. I think there are two empty houses. Well, this one, the landlord's kicking me out of soon. He wants to sell it. How do I know it's a he? I don't know. I've only ever gotten text messages and a few phone calls. People don't do business in person anymore. Probably for a reason. Probably because like the chance of coworkers attacking each other. Oh, my rental investments. The guys I used to hang out with in the cigar shack. Investment opportunities. Yeah. So that's why I just sit around and study the Bible. When I was down in Sacramento at the Sheraton, and one of the dudes, this dude would seem to be complaining that another employee stabbed him. Minor disagreements. There they are, still working. I guess when you don't have enough employees, you really can't put anybody on administrative leave. Like dirty cops and give them like full pay while they sit around waiting for the investigation to be completed. Listening to Tom Hartman show some years ago. It's a long time ago. It's 2010. And he pointed out our economy, finance, and security. Where and now it's even bigger. Where I don't know how many private law enforcements. I have like one of the people outside the window doing like voodoo chants. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Such a well. I guess Kill the Christians. I guess Kill the Christians is back. What? So a bunch of divorced men hang out. What's wrong with a bunch of divorced men hanging out? See, we have a patriarch. I have older people who have more right to the birthright than I do. I'm not trying to kill my older brothers. Well, my older cousins. We just were raised as like, just one big group of gooselings. Is that what they're called? Is what little ducks are called? Geese. Yeah, shared parenting. It was a thing back in the 80s where I was consciousness. My dad talks sometimes about people how much they remember being babies. I mean, you're like this tiny little baby being carried around. How much you really remember? Yeah. Well, I guess in our culture, because oof, shouldn't going to church protect you from the slings and arrows and the calamities of life? Why do bad things happen to good people? That's why I know a lot of people who started chanting, going to voodoo schools and stuff, so that they could have power and magic. There's a line there. It's like, and then Jake went to the. It's fascinating. Very few descriptions of people. Like gender assumption is a big thing. And that's why I've noticed they'll point out sons. Very few. They're having very few women. It's a genetic thing. Apparently, it's back in the day. It's I don't know. Was it more violent? Were we more prone to violent when we didn't have things like television, internet to sit around and occupy us? And like one of the little interesting things because the Bible I use has a lot of footnotes and things that the people put together. It's a study Bible. It's a study. Some you just flip through and it's just this one will show you where some stories are similar to other stories or referenced in other parts of the Bible. Like they keep retelling this. They keep retelling stories about their grandparents. Like, yo, you want to know why you're ucked up? You why you're all confused? You don't recognize your own brother. I'm not gonna call your dad a liar. It just it is. I don't even think. It, well, they didn't have birth control then. It was like one of those things they just pop out, pop out, pop out. They don't have. Well, like if we just research, the very elite of the elite would have scrolls. Like only the elite of elite. In Egypt, when they used to pay the slaves, I mean the workers in beer, allegedly, they had this thing where the most desirable jobs, and one most desirable job was to be the scribe of the pharaoh. The scribe was this dude. I guess it could be women. I don't know. But there's the person whose job it was. It's just the pharaoh has a commandment or something, or wants to send a message. He would just write down what the pharaoh said, or write what the pharaoh wanted written. He'd write. That was the scribe. Now you don't need a whole lot of scribes. So the scribe would live in the palaces. He'd be same status as his kindred slaves outside, but the scribe would be able to be fat. They would be paced. They would get they weren't in the sun, so they could be like these fat white people. And still, it's like they got the house job. Little stories, little apocryphal stories that one hears throughout life and studying. And oh, nerds! Study, what's that? Well, I guess when I used to be playing by, well, assuming the rules. This is a little treat I picked up. It was reissued. Well, this version was printed in 1965, but original it was written in 1935. I think in the 80s, 90s, there was movies on Wall Street brokers making money. So this was a big person who was on Wall Street, and Flair. Forward introduction. In chapter 1, it requires knowledge, experience, and flair. Oh, what's it called? The Battle for Investment Survival by Gerald M. Loeb. Now, 1935 in the public school that I went to, that's a period of time they called the Great Depression. In that period of time, there's stuff written about. Maybe they focused more on World War II in 1941, and that got us out of the Great Depression. Yet during the Great Depression, we don't have as many cameras here. Do you know during the peaceful protests prior to Trump, or the people posing, Trump? So 2016 to 2020, there are just periods that things happen in different cities. And I had the blessing of watching some live streams like Unicorn Riot. Vice was transmitting on YouTube, I think, and then some other people lots of people were. There were people who their channel would be like looking for live streams and putting up like this board of all the live streams that are going on different countries. They're different, might as well be different countries, different cities in the youth uprising, peaceful protests. So I watched so much. I watched so many live streams from ground level of these, of just, it's like, what's going on? Did you see the one where in St. Louis where they're smashing, going down, and well, I guess they're revitalizing or gentrifying. I don't know. It's when people get angry, they the words. It's, if only they knew how to use words to elucidate what their issue is with comic book stores. But anyway, everybody's cheering. This dude ran out. He had a comic book or collector store, and he went out chasing people. Now this might be bad on him. You run into a crowd with a samurai sword, that crowd might take that as a threat. And anyway, so apparently he's chasing some people who are just they like toys. And so he's chasing these people, trying to keep him away from like smashing his, like he thought. He just assumed they were going to smash his store. So anyway, they turn around, hundreds of people, groups of people. He disappears in this group of people, and all you see is like Jenna Six just smashing them with their feet. And then they depart, and he's just like all mangled and twisted on the ground. He's like, so this is a day when they didn't do electronic transfers. This is the day when whatever value was in your you had to carry it from like one bank to another bank. That's the kind of days this was. So when he talks about investment survival, oh my goodness, is that Derek? I don't know. Is that like Dalek? We in YouTube world, is people named Derek really Daleks? That they're just set on one thing and destroy human, exterminate. Yeah, I don't even know where the name Derek originated from. Well, my landlord has a name that sounds very similar to friggin' this dude in our office. And you talk about temper problems. I had to, there were times I get like my boss would call up or my supervisor should be like, "You keep them away. Just try to avoid. Just don't let them have a con." See, I was like the new guy at the place, and there are pre-existing animosities between people. Oof. It's like you see two like armies lined up in their march. Stop! No, get out of the way. Let the boys have fun. There are just too many of them. There's just too many of them. Oh, that's another great thing with Abraham and Sarai. Well, whatever was going on those days, some of these men from the Bible are cognizantly they think they they think because their wives are beautiful that other men will kill them and take their women. Like that's the thing people do. Killing a man and killing a man that take his woman. That's so silly. Hmm. Novel, movies, books. A lot of it's a retelling of the same thing. Oh, Robin. You know my brother's a psychic. One day you called me on the phone. Remember too long? Just I went back home and just as the family could just oh, it's like a little Navy family on base. Just all of us away from our homes, stationed on base, having adventures, funny times, and we wonder what happened to them after we left. Well, Robin really wanted me to date her. Like she thought we had well date matchmake, single guy, single woman. There are a lot of matchmakers. I just didn't know her sister that well, and I did meet her. But I have to support my daddy. I get to. It's an honor. Except he's dead now, so. Same reason that I didn't get married back then. Well, now I can't. Now I just. That'd be a mistake. The only reason women want to marry me is the same reason my landlord is like, oh yeah, when you got a real freaking hophead. Like I sent a screenshot of my bank account. Don't you have? Okay, now I'm gonna buy you the house. It's like I haven't even met you, dude. I want to see the paperwork. Like I want. This is. No, just you give me money now. You give me money now. That's what we're dealing with. Oh, government programs. I'm sure this shit was given to a bunch of well, redistribution of wealth. This house has been well, actually, because I've learned my dad used to do. I didn't really understand what he was doing, but I understood when he got happier. See, he wanted to rebuild his business. He had a little business, residential services, and he was so obsessed on rebuilding that and becoming a success and buying the house and the car and being able to support his sons and send them to college the way other people do. And about age about 63, he just got a little bit of Social Security check and take the bus to the library and he just hang out at libraries and state libraries, polk directories. He'd be like looking at home ownership. He just found it fascinating. He missed his customers. He used to have a big Rolodex of customers that he like, and then that's just you keep doing the work. You have a customer, keep that relationship going. He pretty dependent on his customers calling him every 3 to 6 months. He'd be like, "You need services?" And so he noticed a lot of his customers, well, they would lose homes. They were all middle class, and he'd be noticing. They would be refinancing. They'd be playing that financial game. He didn't. Thought it was a scam. He's a story about 1973 or 74. He'd been gotten out of the Navy and he's taking community college classes. He's going to college. And he was in a finance class. And he had an Egyptian professor. The Egyptian professor held up $1. He said, "Take this out. You may have it. Take out your wallet." And everything. He took his. So look what it says. So silver certificate. It is backed by silver, redeemable in silver. Now a little bit of history here is people, because people used coins, they would go deposit a coin in a vault at a bank, where the bank would protect their money. Because otherwise, well, mm, a lot of people don't have experience of that world. It's hard. So it's hard to kids who've never had the joy of pirates and stuff, just jumping and beating them and taking their bag of money. You hear a little jangle. So it said silver certificate, and it was backed by the amount of silver that the federal government was holding. I guess that's a deposit in the reserve accounts. So they could only issue $1 for when silver was deposited. Well, Nixon was changing it. They say Nixon, it was during Nixon administration, to Federal Reserve notes like IOUs. It says you will see inflation like you never seen before. My dad, and he told that story more than a few times to me, like things that really stand out in a person's mind. Now we've only ever had. Wait, does it say Federal Reserve? Was it this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private? Okay, Federal Reserve note. Yes, Federal Reserve notes. About 50 years ago, 50 years ago or more, there would have been like somewhere with a silver certificate. Like this we've only been using this for like 50 years. Now these ones, oh my goodness, look at how wealthy. Oh, Brandon. Oh my goodness, Marshall. Oh, I should go back and get that today. There's a movie I get DVD and I vaguely remember it called We Are Marshall. It's about a big tragedy where one of the greatest college football teams of all time died in an airplane crash. Oh my goodness, they made a movie about it and everything. Oh my goodness. Mm. World Universal Bank. Oh, World Universal Bank. Uh, Yan Lo. So they said this is Bible study, so we really ought to stick to the subject at hand. interesting. I have these two I picked up at. It's the Living Bible, and then they're both by Tyndale. One is the Living Bible, the red one. Do you know what red color red and green are? Very, very culturally specific, huh? So, Catholic edition red letter, and this is Living Bible paraphrased. Catholic edition. I've had this one longer. It's written in a way that, and they say for modern English speakers, it helps you. Exodus. Okay, bricks without straw. Now you will see what I shall do to Pharaoh, the Lord told Moses, for he must be forced to let my people go. He will not only let them go, but will drive them out of his land. Oh, they have like little notes here. 2 and... Oh, those are chapter numbers. I am Jehovah, the Almighty God who appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, that's only... Isaac is Abraham's son, and Jacob is Isaac's son. Though I did not reveal my name, Jehovah, to them, I entered into a solemn covenant with them. Under its terms, I promised to give them and their descendants the land of Canaan, where they were living. And now I have heard the groanings of the people of Israel, in slavery now to the Egyptians, and I remember my promise. Therefore tell the descendants of Israel that I will use my mighty power and perform great miracles to deliver them from slavery and make them free. And I will accept them as my people and be their God. And they shall know that I am Jehovah, their God, who has rescued them from the Egyptians. I will bring them into the land I promised to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It shall belong to my people. Interesting. Oh, and here we have you can't. So now I'm expecting a big battle that it's setting up for, like, because Moses is going to take God's people down into the land of Canaan, and isn't that around like Gaza? Anyway, so Moses told the people what God had said, but they wouldn't listen anymore because they were too dispirited after the tragic consequence of what he had said before. Oof. Now the Lord spoke to Moses again and told him, go back again to Pharaoh and tell him that he must let the people of Israel go. But look, Moses objected, my own people won't even listen to me anymore. How can I expect Pharaoh to? I am no orator. Then the Lord ordered Moses and Aaron. Oh yeah, Moses has a brother named Aaron. From what I've heard, Aaron did most of the talking. Moses just had like ram horns and staff and... to return to the people of Israel to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, demanding that the people be permitted to leave. Oh my goodness, to have a brother. I remember my own brothers disavowed me. Do you know what it's like when your own brother disavows you? Just, I don't know him. These are the names of the heads of the clans of the various tribes of Israel. Oh, the clans of the tribes of Israel. The sons of Reuben, Israel's oldest son. Oh, Hanok, Palu, Hezron, Carmi, the heads of the clans of the tribe of Simeon. Oh, Simeon was one of the sons born to Jacob through Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Zachin, Zohar. And Adam Sandler had a movie called like The Zohar or something. Shaul, whose mother was a Canaanite. Ooh. See, they don't list the mothers. I suppose unless said otherwise that they're from the same woman, whose mother was a Canaanite, Shaul. These are the names of the heads of the clans of the tribe of Levi, in the order of their ages. Why didn't that say the other one, order of the ages? And B, it says literally according to their generations. Oh. Gershon, Kohath, Merari, and they have parentheses, Levi lived 137 years. The sons of Gershon were... Okay, so he has 3 sons, and then they're going to have, like... That's what I'm talking about. You got this family tree. I had no idea Israel's made up of clans. The sons of Gershon were Libni, Shimei, and their clans. The sons of Kohath: Amram, Ezra, Hebron, Uzeli. Oh, Uzel! Kohath lived 133 years. The sons of Merari: Mali, Mushi. Mali, Malai, Mushai. I don't know how to pronounce them. I pronounce these things way American English people pronounce the letters. It's just whatever sounds good. The above are the families of the Levites, according to their ages. Okay, and Amram married Jochebed, his father's sister. Oh, Amram married his aunt. And Aaron and Moses were their sons. Oh. Um, Amram lived to the age of 137. Koha, the sons of Issar: Koha, Nepheg, Zikri. The sons of Uziel, Mishael, Elzaphan, C3. Aaron married Elisheba, the daughter of Amminadab. Wait, did Amminadab be mentioned before? It's probably mentioned like someplace back here. Aaron married Elisheba, the daughter of Amminadab, and sister of Nahshon. Their children were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, Ithamar. The sons of Korah, Esar, Elkanah, Abiasaph. Now, since I've been thumbing through this Bible for a while, not necessarily this one, other ones mostly, this is an interesting one. Just because it just reads more. So right there we have a. Oh my goodness. Okay, now those are the clans of Israel. I suppose a clan is just once you have a child and they start breeding, that's each child is a clan. Wait, no, because they're counting the grandfather as the clan. So Levi had like three, and then so the clans are Levi. I don't know. Does when your grandpa dies, do they become the little offshoots? Does Gershon have a clan now? I don't know. The tragedy that had befallen them before. This is where, like, if it's not biblical, we don't study it type of thing. And I guess when you're starting out, you just get foundation on that. Because that will come. You're like, oh, well, what happened to these other brothers and stuff? What I heard, one of the things where the New Testament is so foundational to this is that there was a king in that the land of the Med where Israel is, they're so disunited that this was written, put together to show the people that Jesus was a descendant of David. Apparently they really miss David. Now, where's David in the timeline of Moses? Well, I guess if you're going in order, then he's after Moses, as well as this can be put together. And they don't have dates really. Just, I think maybe they have mentions of months in their calendar. I understand a lot of it's lunar. It's easier to track the moon cycles than. This is 1 Kings 3. Solomon made an alliance with Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and married one of his daughters. He brought her to Jerusalem to live in the city of David until he could finish building his palace and the temple and the wall around the city. Now, the wall around the city is going to be referenced later on in the book of prophets, or one of the books of the prophets. Maybe all of them. the wall around the city. At that time, the people of Israel sacrificed their offerings on altars in the hills, for the temple of the Lord hadn't been yet built. Hadn't yet been built. That's an interesting about like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. There's many references to getting to a place and building an altar. Burnt offerings. Speaking of which, I'm really hungry right now. 45 minutes has gone by so fast. That's good. Oh my goodness. I woke up rather early. I got to bed. I went to bed. Well, I didn't go to bed when the sun went down and got dark. Although I think that's most people's natural inclination to go to bed when the sun goes away, when it's nighttime. It's like circadian rhythm things. Thank you for offering me your sister, Robin. Just got problems. Can't find my brother. Or actually, I talked to him a lot. There was a time we were like he banned me from talking to him. You're crazy, man, Jeff. I think street people. I think these gangs outside know like my bank accounts and shit. Think they have relatives who work at the call centers. That's why I get laughed at. My phone's been stolen. I can't access my Amazon. I go, well, then nothing I can do about it. You got me to check your attitude. Well, my phone wasn't really stolen. See, I was attacked and beaten in the street by a group of youths, just like my grandfather was. Oh no, Laurora, Stokes, what'd you do? What did you do, Stokes? Oh boy. Oh boy. What? You can't be clapped back at? Yeah. Yep, you can't be clapped back at. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Well, at least you're up, huh? That's one thing. At least you are up. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean everybody needs any guy in my situation needs to come together and get real about things. See, what does money buy you? Money buys you labor. Well, it buys you things, but those things were made with labor. You know, for you to get a dollar bill, that's somebody trying to pay me like for in the nasty fucking their hands all like money. It's like I'm using the Mozilla browser, which is funny. Mozilla is one of the first one. They had like the CEO or person worked there, and the employees found out he gave like $1,000 donation. $1,000 donation to his to focus on the family. And boy, oh boy, I was like, that was fun.
pays them well. See, apparently they have people in every single company. See, all the IT workers. There we go. That's better. This is what we deal with. Well, the stars of staging screen, they're desirable jobs. And there are also things that a lot of people can do. What's your job? My job is to be a camera. That's my job. What do you do? I'm the face of the company. I'm the brand. Yeah, I don't know. I just like it's like Kit. I don't know if you ever watched Kit. It's like Kevin James. Kevin James can't have an ugly girl, ugly wife on screen because he's like, who is he? Oh, Kevin James. Kevin James is fuck with it. And and then it's like he's in a movie with yeah, but he plays like the chud very well. Like that's the thing. People love seeing the chud with the hot wife, the good looking, beautiful wife, which is very hurtful to women who and men too. You know, men can't compete with Kevin James and Will Smith. Yeah, it's high status. Now, musicians, actors, and no athletes, musicians, actors. I'm sorry, Myron. That's those are high status men in our society. The athletes I absolutely understand because when a woman sees the high status athlete just like pummeling a freaking like just a nerd. Like, well, what kind of woman wants to like? Women want like high like strong men to protect them from creepy nerds. Yeah, it's oh my goodness. Did the microphone go out? Oh, you cheeky little thing, you. Hmm. Yeah, this one works. Oh, okay, there we go. Maybe it already was. Maybe it already was capturing stuff. Some people don't like being made fun of. I wonder who that could be. CSUS. I went to a comedy show a few like oh my goodness decade. It's like an Asian American guy because you know we're just so diverse at our college, and oh my goodness, like well you know white people done blackface. Hello my mini home, my mini home, my mini home. You set my heart on fire. Oh yeah. So well I have to tell you that ITT we're in a lot of trouble. It goes back to like not top secret. Shut up. Customs. I did a Unix. The Army didn't have. When they came to us one day at my reserve center, so the Army doesn't have enough people to fill all the jobs they have to do. So who wants to volunteer to be an augmentee for the Army? And we're like, it actually from the pays that we were getting, it a lot of us signed up because it paid more than working at Target and the other jobs that were. I guess it's our unrealistic expectation being just low people. You gotta get a bigger picture of the thing. We bring our jobs back, dude. Dude, your job, that job you used to get paid a lot for. Well, there are more people now, and your skill set isn't that great. Besides, we don't even know what money is. We don't even know what money is. It seems that we only create money through destruction. We gotta keep economic growth going. How you do that? See that field? You're a fat farmer. He charges too much for food, and it's not worth it. So we're gonna pave it all over, build a super Walmart center there, and a Target and retail, and people come and they'll drive out here and they'll spend their money. The workers? No, the people, the consumers. just, uh, no, maybe I bumped it. No, no, no. I really do have people at the YouTube center or just turning freaking plugins. And it's what that they're better at, like pulling cables and smashing things. Um, it's just the poop throwers. Sometimes because they don't like speed limits. We have so many people from LA here. The Palisades fire. Remember, nobody does anybody even care about the Palisades fire? You go over and overlay like the Google with the Zillow, and you see they're all like $10 million houses, $5 million houses, and now they're up here like people who's like working at. Well, dude, you need to get out of your house, man. You're a poor person. I'm gonna get my insurance settlement. I still think the guy that I used to work at when I was working in like the legal system, I still think he burned his own house down. It's one of those things people, oh, it's loans. What better way to get out of a loan than just like, but man, he doesn't exist anymore. He went up in smoke. Well, build another one for him. By the time we'll be able to build our own home by the time he's done burning down his. Oh wait, he's burning down ours because then he demands a ticket. I want your home, man. Get the fuck out of your home. Oh, I don't mind doing social commentary. But it's the neighborhood of racists. You ever saw that thing in Milwaukee? Oh my goodness, they have a fight with a neighbor. The neighbor went to all. There's a video where like 150 people gathered outside some dude's home like a lynch mob, and there's like the black guy because nobody wants to be racist. See, it's like anti-racist neighborhood. So you have one black guy with like leading his army of anti-racist whites. That man's a racist. Get out of your fucking home. Get out of your home, racist. The guy is in the, and he's like sitting there with a shock, and he's getting where the rifle is, and you see his silhouette. All of a sudden, the cops come, and because he was in his own home, holding a gun in case, because he was afraid they were going to break into his house and lynch him, and then they arrested him. Do you think he still lives in that home now? No, that's cheap market. That's probably a rental place. What's that song? We were banging on the counter. We were banging. Yeah, it's like the world of Tupac's. Tupac Shakur, his name, his mother. You could get the story from Bill Clinton. His mother was a black nationalist, black revolutionary. Said they should get machine guns and start killing white people for a day to make them pay attention, and named her son Tupac to lead the reemergence of the Inca Empire. Oh yeah, yeah. He's named after the mythological last emperor, the Inca emperor, Tupac Shakur. That's a little like American lore. Could be right, could be wrong. And this is what I grew up hearing, and like, oh man, he's the Inca Empire. Well, I've been to South America, and a lot of people like really love leading bloody revolutionaries against the gringos. Gringo, gringo, we with the Tupac Shakur here, Emperor. You get out now. You get out now. Yeah, I know this is supposed to be biblical research. Yeah, it is biblical. Because everyone knows Moses is black, Jesus is black, they're all black. What does that mean? Is that a race? No, no, no. There's no descriptions. That is what makes the Bible such a fun game because we don't know what they look like. You go down these places, it's just somebody's writing a story about people who, well, the Israelites are probably not literate. The slaves, they're probably not literate or illiterate. Who knows? Maybe there's a smart slaves. Literacy, being able to read. That's why they have to give commandments so much, like talk. Now apparently before the Ten Commandments they had a Hammurabi code. They just got this thing, just carve it into like stone. What do you mean? What do you mean? Look at that. See, not even with that. Put stones. Let me read it to you. shall not worship foreign gods. What do that mean? People, gather around me. I am your one true God. My name is Ben, the baby below. Bow down before me, I come here to conquer you. Sorry, there's something on my mind. Heavy stuff everywhere. So then I'm looking at this book all the time. Not all the time. It's a gross exaggeration. Yet I just saw it and I put it someplace. Yeah, there's this dude named Steve, and one day Steve saw him and he's like, he's using his real name. He's using his real name and stuff. What are you? Oh, Michael, for me soon, Blackfist. Ooh, yeah. Oh, this is called High School Yearbook. This is a very that have free education or have educational system. It's a very interesting thing. Probably a mistake. No, it's not a mistake. However, we have a lot of people. Oh, students gathered together during Friendship Day on October 19th, 1993 at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. Oh my goodness. Good. Oh, Shepherd, this is picture right here. You can't see it too well. Oh, oh, look into the future. A few Ukrainian children go on while their big bro shows them what they have to look forward to as future Insanians. Just trying to get to the one. There's a lot of drama in high school. So much drama. Well, clubs, after school activities. Where's my favorite one? Just browsing through here. It says a lot of work to put these things together. There's the yearbook staff. Where am I in this stuff? Oh well. Oh, oh my goodness. Students helping students. Oh, I didn't see you, David. I didn't see you at our high school reunion. No, we had our 20th a few years ago. The California Scholarship Federation is an honor society which is active in high schools throughout California. Members of CSF are best known for their outstanding academic achievement. The organization consists of sophomores, juniors, and seniors. To be considered for membership, each person must earn at least 10 scholastic grade points as a total from all their classes. Those who gain the title of CSF Life Member are required to have dedication to the organization and maintain excellent grades. Also, these excelling members must have an active record in CSF for a total of 4 semesters. As a form of recognition, these life members receive a gold cord and a lamp pin upon graduating, symbolizing their academic excellence. All members are required to attend meetings, tutor other students, needing help in various academic areas, and participate in fundraisers that help to award students in CSF with academic scholarships. When was the last time you ever heard a person going on a full academic scholarship? That's why athletes are so high status. Oh, here it is. Here's the moment we've all been waiting for. See, when I was in, see, because I am, even though we weren't churchgoers, there's something. They say this is about like anti-adultery and fornication, sex is for marriage and stuff like that. So it was a little, for a guy like me, it was a little nuts. So when your high school crush is like pregnant, but you're not married yet. You got married? No, you're not married. You have a baby? Oh, okay. And then you're like, I can't afford to have a baby. I'm still looking for a job. Bulldog Justice. This year, mock trial was especially transcendent. Returning members with valuable experience were back better than ever. Oh. Yeah, I was a shut-in. I didn't really participate. Yearbook, I think, might be the only club I joined. Yearbook might be the only club in high school. Oh. So, Mr. Steve Marsetti, huh, oh, was also new to this experience. Having a minor in criminal justice psychology gave him a good foundation to help Encina. Wow. You know, these days you require like triple masters or something. That's I don't know if that's too far from the course because if like every applicant has a master's degree, do you have like three PhDs? Well, the more degrees you have, you can't just be given these teaching jobs to just anyone, Steve. We placed considerably better than in previous years. And People v. Whitman, the defendant, Alex Whitman. Oh, Alex Whitman. So we need to update the things. It's always referring to him as Billy, but that's actually Alex, played by Billy Cho, was accused of grand theft and child abduction by his overbearing mother-in-law. Oh, grand theft and child abduction. Well, that's how. Actually, when you hear about missing kids, it's usually one of the parents like grabbing the kid, like they're not wanting the other parent around them, like the good parent versus the evil parent. The defense team, Ernestine Holmes, Eddie Coe, Daniel Davis, Amy Zausch, and Billy Cho did a spectacular job. Wait, he's on. Okay, yeah, you can help with his own defense. Wait, it's not actually him. He's a stand-in for Alex Whitman. The prosecution team, also outstanding, attempted to convict the defendant. The burden of proof was on them. Well, that's the way our justice system works. Monica McGuire, Deanna Johnson, Candy Minides, Melek Skull, and Geneva Bradley tackled the case with brilliance. The witnesses for both the defense and prosecution were exceptional. Kim Jones, Holly Harris, Devon Levy, Jeremy Donovan, Janice Garcia. Mock trial is a unique program for those interested in a law-related career. Congratulations to Encina's mock trial team. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, memories. It's all faded memories now. Yeah, they built a. I remember they built like in like this. There was a. Was there elementary school next to us? I'm trying to remember. And but they built like this thing, and they built like a special school for pregnant girls. Yeah, we were so awesome. We had a special school built so pregnant girls could go there and have babies without people making fun of them. That's one of the things I hear that like some of the rabbis, their job is just to try to keep track of the family trees. It's like, well, not everybody's informed when their niece. That's a big thing. Should parents be informed if their daughter is going to have an abortion? There's so much fighting over parental rights, but that's awesome because now they're just all in the foster care system. Wash their hands of these little freaking. Oh, they all do is want to eat poop, crap, and stuff. Kids. The more time that you spent being lazy and playing, the less time they're being productive. Reading and writing. What's that? That's evil. Goodness, I'm so hungry. The phone that I used to stream on. Well, I never had a. I don't have that 2,000 viewer thing. Remember after the Christchurch shooting? Oh, that was a fun time in the internet. A guy with a GoPro camera stormed a mosque. Well, I know I'm proven killing believers and stuff. I mean, I don't prove killing unless it's a burger. Yeah, we had burger shortage last night at the restaurant. Ground beef burger. So I don't know. Oregon says you have to let the animal die a natural death. Like you have to wait for it to die naturally before you eat it. No more like taking it to the slaughterhouse. Uh, I don't know. everyone's having a good time. You're trying to do a little bank transferring stuff to pay bills, and all of a sudden there's new features. Oh, that dude. Oh, the investment team. See, what I think is this what I know is that most of this is part of investment portfolios. No single individual owns it. You have an account manager who can get bonuses and stuff, just salivating. He's like one of those. He's like one of the hiring managers that the less they can get, they get bonuses. See, where there's suspicion that the offers they're giving us, they could have gone higher. But for every dollar they save, they get a percentage. They get bonuses. The less they can get somebody to work for them, the more bonus they get. It's a good incentive program. Mock trial. Billy Cho, Grand Theft Larceny. Say it ain't so, cowboy. Say it ain't so, cowboy. One of the things one of the big jokes is I think we had French in English. Like English or language, second languages. Many schools they used to offer other languages, and now we're just so only speak English. And yet all these, see, my high school is so full of immigrants that they can talk and I can only talk shit in English, which gets me in trouble. See, it's hard to go to HR when you're like they're talking bad about me. What do you say? They were Kevin. Kevin. I know they're talking about me. Oh, that's racist, man. That's racist. Look, they look white. No, well, with sunglasses, that's a great thing. That's a good little eyelid surgery. Just wear sunglasses. Hi, cowboy. My name's Billy Kid. You give me cop. Well, I can say that because because we just all jive like that, right? I thought we were all good in the office, buddy. Thought we were all good. Yeah, it's a big problem. So my stuff here, and I had planned and well planning. Man plans. God laughs. Oh, Josh Hoover. I don't know what all politicians have sent me stuff over the years. We donate my kid we make a difference. How you make a difference? Oh, you write a bill that like to take my that like that. You need to tax that pig more, man. You need to donate more to my campaign. You don't donate my campaign, I'm not gonna write the bill and give you second, but you can't write. It's just funny. Maybe we should watch some like the Nevada. Nevada seems to. Well, maybe it's just because of my recommendation. I get like a lot of meetings from Nevada legislator. Oh, well, representative democracy. I know you want my coins, my gold coins. See, one of my friends said, "That's not me. That's not real metal anymore. That's why it's devalued. That's how they inflate it. They're supposed to be copper." Oh, 1977. This one might actually be copper. Wait, is it? Are pennies made out of copper? There are like certain standard things for the smelting and properties. Been doing different things lately to measure the resistance values. I don't know. I can't remember the difference between impedance and resistance. Oh yeah, it's like a matching thing on the coupler. I can't see. It could be 96, 76. I don't know. I'm looking for the one where like they like the cross promoted together. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. You see. Look at the agents of Shield. What America needs now is more superhero movies. That's the one thing I do miss. Like, well, when you ran out of people to talk to, I don't like that. But I don't like their television shows enough to watch it in isolation. What was it? Well, no, I actually I did enjoy watching it because I didn't have anything to do. That was a nice thing. I didn't have to worry about rent then. But now we're back out of lockdown, and the people who are on a job, they probably want to be on lockdown and be able to sit home and catch up on TV. The problem is the people who've been playing video games during lockdown, these donos and shit, they don't want to go get a job because those jobs don't pay enough for them to pay their bills. I wonder if they even know what a bill is. We have like an entire growing class of people who don't have to pay for anything. Like the more people don't have to pay for anything. Well, it's supply and demand. You know, it's like the shoplifters. It's like the kids who shoplift. They're little gangs now. Little gangs of kids. They just go in there and take stuff. They're just misdemeanors. You're gonna ruin their big football playing careers. And so they're a free product. Well, the next big customer has to double up their fucking purchases. Oh look, speeding down the street. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's somebody was saying heavy metal kills. Well, back in the day, we had some like heavy equipment, not very gas efficient, but these we had like armored vehicles, just heavy. And a lot of times they said it. Well, the convoy commander said that they would send that they block the road and then pull like people out of their vehicles and try to kill them. Oh yeah, I did see that happen a few times on some drone videos. So yeah, the order was given not to stop. So apparently all these street protesters looking to get the free cargo, getting that friggin' delivery. Man, they're crushing bones under heavy wheels. Dude, that made them mad. So, well, which kills them more in real life, speed or heavy metal? Because boy, oh boy, there used to be newspaper articles about people in parking lots who would gun their cars and run shoppers over as their way of protesting, or they're getting injustice. not necessarily the Bible. And the Bible's given birth to many other books related to people studying the Bible. Yorkshire School. This is the memoir of Dean Ramsay. Dean, forget what the name is. The friends of Dean Ramsay, desiring a memorial of his life, his friendly publishers, and his nearest relatives, have asked me to undertake the work. Placed in my hands some materials giving authentic facts and dates and illustrating Dean's own views on the leading events of his life. I feel myself excluded from dealing with one important part of such a life, for I cannot take upon me to speak with confidence or authority upon church doctrines or church government. On the other hand, for the man, I have that full sympathy which I suppose ought to exist between the writer and the subject of the biography. Huh. And there's a thing in the Bible, the italic, the quotes in italics where it's like a different script. It says those are like those they really don't understand the word or they put a word in. So what if Dean was a woman? Well, you really don't know with authors, huh? Here's a Orville. Is it Orville? Orville. It's a Seth MacFarlane. It was a cute little sci-fi where like people who like the old Star Treks. They like there were an alien couple in there, and if you don't, through the course it turns out they don't have women. They do like operations, and then like this so they do operations. They're all boys, and they find out, and there's like some weird laws about heterosexuality, and they and they just hate women. Apparently they hate women. They kill women or something. And then they find out their greatest writer is a woman. We have Mother's Day thing. Mothers are teachers, mothers are protectors, mothers are all sorts of things. And then they're like Father's Day is coming up, and it's like, oh man, so many deadbeat dads don't care about their kids. See, mommy does it all. Well, when you're getting letters and instructions, by the kindness of Dr. Begg, I have a most amusing anecdote to illustrate how deeply long tried associations were mixed up with the habits of life in the older generation. A junior minister, having to assist at a church in a remote part of Aberdeenshire, the parochial minister, one of the old school, promised his young friend a good glass of whiskey toddy after all was over, adding slyly and very significantly, the good smuggled whiskey. His Southron guest thought it incumbent to say, "Ah, minister, that's wrong, is it not? You know it is contrary to Act of Parliament." The old Aberdonian could not so easily give up his fine whiskey to what he considered an unjust interference, so he quietly said, "Ah, Acts of Parliament lose their breath before they get to Aberdeenshire." Parliament. So Parliament banned whiskey? Well, I guess the king was just like, oh, no more whiskey. Maybe the king drank too much. I don't know. Acts of Parliament lose their breath before they get to Aberdeenshire. There's something very amusing in the idea of what may be called the fitness of things in regard to snuff taking, which occurred at an honest Highlander, genuine lover of sneaking. Snuff taking. Now, snuff is people like snuff stuff up through their nose. I wonder if they had a form of cocaine back then. At the door of Blair Athol Hotel, he observed standing a magnificent man in full tartans, and noticed with much admiration the wide dimensions of his nostrils and a fine upturned nose. He accosted him, and as a most complimentary act, offered him his mole for a pinch. The stranger drew up rather haughtily, said, "I never take stuff." "Oh," said the other, "that's a pity, where there's grand accommodation." And they have a size and a note. This anecdote this anecdote has been illustrated is taken from these pages by a very clever sketch of the Highlander and his admirer in a curious publication at Liverpool. the interest of smoking and snuffing. Hmm. Well, I was just smoking. I was just out there out with one of the rolled the tobacco leaves. I chain smoke a lot, thinking about my baby brother. See, my baby brother started smoking when he was like 15 with the bad kids at school. And if only he had quit smoking, then his life would have been great. Maybe, I wonder. Well, it does pull you into bad people. Snuff taking is smoking. Hmm. I wonder if they have. I wonder if they have some. Well, maybe it is. Yeah, yeah. I have noticed the smoke that's clogging the nostrils. I do a lot of independent research in the medical. The doctors just, my goodness, that was one big act of Parliament. Isn't Parliament a brand of cigarettes? Oh, yeah, brand switchers. Now this is another fine book. This is called The Inquisition, the Hammer of Heresy. Well, church government, simple penances included recitation of prayers, pilgrimages, regular church attendance, the discipline, fasting, and fines. But although they were often extremely light, they were nonetheless serious, since a person who did not complete them was considered a relapsed heretic, and whoever refused to make these penances was immediately handed over to the secular arm. Oh, prison. In Gregory IX's bull excommunications of 1231, life imprisonment had been specified as a sentence for repentant heretics and was considered an extreme form of penance. Thereafter, it became a standard practice, although life sentences were often in practice commuted. Prison conditions were often harsh, as the complaint of Clement V that the prisoners at Carcassonne were induced to confess by their sufferings attests. But as in the case of torture, they were no worse than other ecclesiastical or secular prisons at the time. Normal diet was, in Bernard Gui's words, the bread of suffering and the water of tribulation. But both diet and general conditions varied according to the category of imprisonment. There were two main types of prison: the mortis largus, wide walls or ordinary prison, and the mortis strictus, or narrow walls, comparable to dungeons. The medieval Inquisition in Italy. Central Italy. Well, I suppose it's a little different everywhere. Ooh, Mongols. Just transfer of the papacy. When Pope Clement V moved the seat of the papacy to Avignon in 1309, that was in Rome, the church effectively abandoned its claim to universal political supremacy. There was a widely diffused feeling that Christian society had reached a conclusive moment of its development. The Great Jubilee proclaimed by Boniface VIII in 1300 had represented a final assertion of medieval churches. The lawyer popes had conceived it. Lawyer popes. The very fact that a pope could imagine the church directly from a city other than Rome demonstrates the fundamental changes that were taking place. Such a move would have been inconceivable to Innocent III a mere century earlier. R. W. Southern believes that the transfer of the papacy was a good thing. It removed the papacy from the fierce tensions of Italian politics and installed it in a low-pressure political area. Geographically, the new seat of government was more convenient. For the inhabitants of four-fifths of Western Christendom, it cut the time spent on a visit to the papal court by 5 weeks. Four-fifths, huh? Furthermore, if the work of the papacy was to lie, mainly in the daily routine of judicial business, inform this there was now no escape. The Avignon was a much better center than Rome. It had the atmosphere of up-to-date governmental headquarters. The arrival of Charles of Anjou had turned the face of the church inevitably towards France. Clement was the fourth French pope since the 1260s, while the number of French cardinals had been constantly increasing. One of the first actions of Celestine V, elected to the Holy See with the support of Charles II of Anjou, was to create 7 new French cardinals against 5 Italians. France, rather than the papacy, stood at the center of the Western world. The issues that dominated the 13th century, Frederick II, the invasions of Mongols and Turks, were forgotten as the papacy became a tool of the French state. In this process of change, the Inquisition was to play a fundamental role, demonstrated most dramatically by the Templar trials. The function of the Inquisition and its power in Italy were irrevocably changed by Clement's transfer to Avignon. Let me see here. Does this Ezekiel? Oh, the furnace. Prayer in the fiery furnace. Oh, okay, so they broke up Daniel a little bit. This is Daniel chapter 3, they made it a separate book, or a separate section. Prayer in the fiery furnace. Susanna and the elders, Daniel 13, but well, this is Catholic edition. Joel, Amos, Micah, Haggai, Zechariah. No. Okay. I picked up a Bible and there were some books and they actually had mention of there's actually mention of Alexander the Great. Alexander of Macedonia. I don't know these names. Now terror will strike you because of all your murdering and violence in cities everywhere. Oh, Habakkuk. The Lord is in his holy temple. This is the message that came to the prophet Habakkuk in a vision from God. O Lord, how long must I call for help before you will listen? I shout to you in vain. There is no answer. Help! Murder! I cry, but no one comes to save. Must I forever see the sin and sadness all around me? Wherever I look, there is oppression and bribery and men who love to argue and to fight. The law is not enforced, and there is no justice given in the courts. For the wicked far outnumber the righteous, and bribes and trickery prevail. The Lord replied, Look and be amazed. You will be astounded at what I am about to do. For I am going to do something in your own lifetime that you will have to see to believe. I am raising a new force on the world scene, the Chaldeans. Chaldeans, a tribe of Semites living between Babylon and the Persian Gulf. A cruel and violent nation who will march across the world and conquer it. They are notorious for their cruelty. They do as they like and no one can interfere. Their horses are swifter than leopards. They are a fierce people, more fierce than wolves at dusk. Their cavalry move proudly forward from a distant land. Like eagles, they come swooping down to pounce upon their prey. All opposition melts away before the terror of their presence. They collect captives like sand. They scoff at kings and princes and scourge their forts. They simply heap up dirt against their walls and capture them. They sweep past like wind and are gone. But their guilt is deep, for they claim their powers from their gods. O Lord, my God, my Holy One, you who are eternal, is your plan in all of this to wipe us out? Surely not. O God, our rock, you have decreed the rise of these Chaldeans to chasten and correct us for our awful sins. We are wicked, but they are far more. Wait. Now he's saying we are wicked. I thought he was saying everyone around him is in bribery and arguing and fighting. Wait, I love arguing. I don't fight much because of the medical expenses and other things. Oh, arguing and bribe. Wait, our paychecks? Is this bribery to put our trust in these other than God? Who will? You cannot allow sin in any form. Oh, you will. You cannot allow sin in any form. Stand idly by while they swallow us up? Should you be silent while the wicked destroy those who are better than they? That's wow. But we but fish to be caught and killed? Are we but creeping things that have no leader to defend them from their foes? Well, hey, this new pope, this Leo guy. Well, he at least he's looking younger and fitter than the other popes. Uh, must we be strung up on their hooks and dragged out in their nets while they rejoice? Then they will worship their nets and burn incense before them. These are the gods who make us rich, they'll say. Will you let them get away with this forever? Will they succeed forever in their heartless wars? I will climb my watchtower now and wait to see what answer God will give to my complaint. And the Lord said to me, write my answer on a billboard, large and clear, so that anyone can read it at a glance and rush to tell the others. But these things I plan won't happen right away. Slowly, steadily, surely, the time approaches when the vision will be fulfilled. If it seems slow, do not despair, for these things will surely come to pass. Just be patient. It will not be overdue a single day. Now, see, if I was in a Bible study class, see, he says God isn't like really. Let me see, where is it? They're horses, they're fierce, cab proudly, they destroy everything else. They scoff at kings, eat dirt. Oh, but their guilt is deep, for they claim their powers from their gods. And over here, uh, Habakkuk is then they will worship their nets and burn incense before them. These are the gods who make us rich, they'll say. Interesting. Well, sounds like is that act of parliament? Must be parliament. Parliament must be on the march. I guess the House of Commons wanna interface with the House of Lords. Seven. That's their Bible study. Now the authorized one. I don't know what the authorized Bible is. To the net. What is this? The Pleasures of Memory. The Pleasures of Memory and Other Poems by Samuel Rogers Esquire. And The Pains of Memory by Robert Mary. Published by New York. Published by Everett Duyckinck. Number 10 Pearl Street. McFarlane and Long. Printers. 1808. To the net. When by the greenwood side at summer's eve, poetic visions charm my closing eye, and fairy scenes that fancy loves to weave shift to wild notes of sweetest minstrelsy, minstrelsy, minstrelsy. To thine, 'tis thine to range in busy quest of prey, thy feathery antlers quivering with delight, brush from my lids the hues of heaven away, and all is solitude and all is night. And now thy barbed shaft, relentless fly, unsheathes its terrors in the sultry air. No guardian sylph, in golden panoply, lifts the broad shield and points the sparkling spear. Now nearer and nearer rush thy whirring wings, thy dragon scales still wet with human gore. Hark! Thy shrill horn is fearful alarum flings. I wake in horror and dare sleep no more. feel bad even using my ungloved fingers on this thing. Sketch of the Alps at daybreak. Oh, the sailor. Oh, captivity. Caged in old woods whose reverent echoes wake. When the heron screams along the distant lake, her little heart oft flutters to be free, oft sighs to turn the unrelenting key. In vain the nurse that rustic relic wears, nor moved by gold, nor to be moved by tears, in terraced walls her black reflection throw on the green mantled moat that sleeps below. Imitated from a Greek epigram. While the cliff with calm delight she kneels, and the blue veils a thousand joys recall, see, to the last verge her infant steals. O fly, yet stir not, speak not, lest it fall. Far better taught, she lays her bosom bare, and the fond boy springs back to nestle there. Oh, the mummy's teeth, auntie's teeth. Hey, who did we just learn? Who did we just learn in the clans of Israel married their aunt? Was it from the clans of Israel? This is why Bible study is slow. Like you have entire universities built around Bible study. Harvard University. Oh, there we go. Harvard University, a private Ivy League research university in Cambridge, Massachusetts, founded in October, named for its benefactor, the Puritan clergyman John Harvard, the only institution in the United States. Okay, so it's founded by, I believe, BCC is Puritan. General Court, well, formerly, while never formally affiliated with any denomination, Harvard trained congregational clergy until its curriculum and student body were gradually secularized in the 18th century. Ah, all right, let's see Yale. My uncle's a big Yale fan. Connecticut, Yale is the third oldest institute of higher education and one of the 9 colonial colleges chartered before the American Revolution. The collegiate school by Congregationalist clergy of the Connecticut colony, originally restricted to instructing ministers in theology and sacred languages. The school's curriculum expanded, incorporating humanities and sciences by the time of the American Revolution. Sacred language. Sacred language, liturgical language, or holy language is a language that is cultivated and used primarily for religious reasons by people who speak another, primarily language in their daily lives. Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, see, when I do Bible study, since English is so, well, the, the language of business, I don't know why the friggin' Navajo, was it Navajo code talkers? Space grant? Oh, outer space release research, space grant colleges. Space, wow, interesting. I didn't know we had space grants for all the American universities. They form a consortium of financing higher education. Well, International Alliance of non-corporate voluntary institutions for private liberal arts college, university, which committed to me on how to get more money out of kids who haven't even started working yet. they've changed a little bit. Falling from the ski is a close call. So I'm looking at a copyright 1926 by Grosset Dunlap. Gary Grayson's Football Rivals, or The Secret of the Stolen Signals, by Elmer A. Dawson, author of Gary Grayson's Hill Street 11, Gary Grayson Showing His Speed, etc. Huh. He tucked the ball in. Oh, I wonder what this book's about. Football. Uh, huh. Sorry. Let's search for Yale. The Old English Physiology, I guess. Evolution, Modern Medicine. I'm looking at public domain books to read. The Andes of Southern Peru. The Canadian Dominion, a chronicle of our northern neighbor, Andy at Yale. They were doing a search for Yale. Religion and War. Religion and the War, Yale University Divinity School. Frank Merriwell's Races. Oh, A Way of Life. An address to students Sunday evening, April 20, 1913. Sir William Osler. I read now. Oh, here's still the A Way of Life. An address to Yale students Sunday evening, April 20th, 1913, by William Osler, London, Constable and Company, Ltd. 1913. How long is this? It should take me about like a 20-minute read or so. Probably not, actually longer, I think. What each day needs, that what day needs, that thou ask, each day will set its proper task. Fellow students, every man has a philosophy. Oh, there you go. Every man has a philosophy in of life and thought, in word or in deed, worked out in himself unconsciously, in possession of the very best. He may not know of its existence. With the very worst, he may pride himself as a paragon. As it grows with the growth, it cannot be taught to be young in formal lectures. What have bright eyes, red blood, quick breath, and taut muscles to do with philosophy? Did not the great Stagirite say that young men were unfit students of it? See, it's like, I suppose the students there would be more. I've never heard this name before. Never heard of Stargate. Stagirite, a native or resident of Stagira in ancient Macedonia, especially Aristotle. Huh. Stagira was an ancient Greek city located near the eastern coast of the peninsula Chalkidice, which is now part of the Greek province of Central Macedonia. Macedonia is chiefly known for being the birthplace of Aristotle, the Greek philosopher and polymath, student of Plato, and teacher of Alexander the Great. The ruins of the city lie approximately 18 kilometers northeast of the present-day village of Stagira and adjacent to the town of Olympiada. I had no idea. You know, I mean, it's like not like Aristotle's life is really relevant to what we do. just stone buildings. Suppose this would be the stuff, the performances, lectures, burn pit. Who knows what they were doing back in the day? Men weren't fit students. They will hear as though they heard not, to no profit. Why then should I trouble you? Because I have a message that may be helpful. It is not philosophical, nor is it strictly moral or religious, one or other, which I was told my address should be. Oh, moral or religious? And yet, in a way, it is all three. It is the oldest and freshest, the simplest and the most useful. So simple indeed is it that some of you may turn away disappointed, as was Naaman the Syrian, when told to go wash in the Jordan to be clean. Naaman the Aramean was the commander of the armies of Hadadezer, the king of Aram Damascus, in the time of Jehoram, king of northern Israel. According to 2 Kings 5 in the Bible, Naaman was a commander of the army of Aram. He was a good commander and was held in favor because of the victory that God brought him. However, Naaman suffered from Tazara, a skin disease, often translated as leprosy. You know these composite tools to be bought for 50 cents with one handle to fit a score or more of instruments. The workmanship is usually bad, so bad as a rule that you will not find an example in any good carpenter shop. But the boy has one. The chauffeur slips one into his box, the sailor into his kit, and there is one in odds and ends drawer of the pantry of every well-regulated family. It's simply a handy thing about the house to help over the many little difficulties of the day. Of this sort of philosophy, I wish to make you a present. The handle to fit your life tools, whether the workmanship in Sheffield or shoddy. This helve will fit anything, from a hatchet to a corkscrew. My message is but a word, a way, an easy expression of the experience of a plain man whose life has never been worried by any philosophical philosophy higher than that of the shepherd in As You Like It. I wish to point out a path in which the wayfaring man, though a fool, cannot err. Not a system being worked out painfully, only to be discarded, not a formal scheme, simply a habit of easy, or as hard, to adopt as they ever had it, good or bad. I won't trouble you with this. I'm just going down the rabbit hole. As You Like, is that a play? As You Like. As You Like is, pastoral comedy by William Shakespeare, believed to have been written in 1590, first published. The first volume, the play's performance is uncertain, though a performance at Wilton House in 1603 has been suggested as a possibility. As You Like It follows its heroine, Rosalind, as she flees persecution in her uncle's court, accompanied by her cousin Celia, to find safety and eventually love in the forest of Arden. Oh, my goodness, plagiarism. You remember when Melania, who's Trump's latest wife? Was she number 6 or something? Yeah, she gave a speech and they said it was a verbatim. It's like she plagiarized Michelle Obama. See, even reading stuff is just, oh, it's also iffy. Still, like, that's public domain. You couldn't be a preacher if you couldn't quote things. Were they using Xmas cards? Xmas back then? Oh, shall bid you adieu. Let's see if this other camera. Yeah. Oh wow, it's working. Wow. Okay, well that first primary camera is finally working. Oh well. Is the but my mic? Hello, hello. Yeah. See, I have this is the original mic, and for some reason it just computer problems. Probably upgrade to the latest and greatest. Just watching the countdown. If I can get 2 hours of streaming, and I feel rather accomplished. I have other things to do, and well, well, my house is being sold. That's all right. I guess you're just the speed of like shuffling things around, shuffling decks on this economy. Yeah, I get there'll be books. There'll be other books, even if I lose all my books. Even if I can't take all these things with me. No, off into the wilderness to chop trees down, live in tents, just try to fight off cannibals and drug addicts who want me to. I don't know. That's one of the great things about the New Testament. He just magically make food and feed everybody. He's such a nice man. Like everybody will tell you, go get free stuff.